Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today, at the end of this video, I am going to flat out blow your mind, because I did blow my mind today. But before I do it, I want to lay out a few things for you all, okay? We've been here for somewhere over 2 years. I think I started this channel in May of 2018, just because the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel said, hey, you ought to start one of those YouTube channels. You know a lot about this stuff. Since that time, I have gone from believing that I was investing in XRP, a digital asset, and following this company, Ripple, and just thinking that this was a new asset class. I've gone from that to believing that this is the single greatest investment in the history of the financial world. I'm not just saying that. I truly believe it. I feel like today is the day that I have seen things where it finally all came together, and it was kind of the aha moment of aha moments. And that is what this video is about. And I believe that by the end of this video, you are going to be like, you're going to say to yourself, mother effer. And I don't even cuss on this channel, folks. So here we go. I want to lay it out first by showing you some of the things, the most common thing that has happened to me in the course of doing this channel has been that I've seen over and over these things and seen different information where I was like, what is some startup from San Francisco doing, using phrases like this, using words like this, saying things like this? How on earth could they possibly be in a position to say things like this? And this is one of them. When I heard Chris Larson say this, listen to the whole clip and listen to what he says about XRP.
About the future of cryptocurrencies, where do you see the future of these digital assets, and maybe the role of Bitcoin and Ripple or XRP in that future?
Yeah, so our view is that these digital assets really become supplemental to the existing family of currencies, right? So every country still needs its own, fiat currency for all kinds of reasons that won't get into it. It's very complicated, right?
Excuse me.
And I actually think that the big four, the yen, the euro, the dollar, the RMB, they actually, I think, come stronger in this world that we're going into, partially because of digital assets.
Okay.
That these digital assets actually contribute to a world that's more interoperable, where more people around the globe can get access to these big four. And most of global commerce is done in the big four. So I think you have a bifurcation going on. Those big four get stronger. I think some of the smaller currencies, maybe even some more of the very small fiat currencies, become less relevant, maybe even disappear. A country could have its own fiat, but still use one of the big four. You have lots of
like
examples.
Montenegro, right?
Absolutely. But I think then where the digital assets fit in, like things like XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're kind of in that mid-range. They become, I think, like the Singapore dollar or the Swiss franc, and they become useful in, kind of lubricating the world to make it easier for those big four to get in the hands of people all around the world.
Okay, well, that's enough of that. But I've said it many times on this channel, this is a guy, no offense to Chris Larson, but this is a guy who's supposed to be the chairman of a startup company. They still, more or less, they call it a startup. It's a unicorn now. But here's a guy who is running a startup company out of San Francisco who is saying, this XRP, this digital asset that is our greatest asset, that's kind of how we see it, as becoming like the Swiss franc. And then Miguel Valles, and I've shown you the video before, or it was either a tweet or a video, but Miguel Valles said that he saw XRP with the liquidity of a G10 currency. Now, a G10 currency is a currency like the US dollar or the British pound. Those are G10 currencies. And I've always been struck, and that's why I've been able to make 2 or 3 videos on this one company for all this time, is because I have never heard anyone with any company talk about anything like that. Then Greg Kidd says, oh yeah, when we first started, we just decided to go straight to the Treasury because that was the right thing to do. Well, who goes to the Treasury? What startup company goes to the Treasury? Well, I've seen thing after thing after thing after thing. All these people in and out, the people on the board are tied to the Treasury. People that work there worked at the Fed and the Treasury and all that. I've never seen anything like this. And then on top of that, you got people coming from Goldman Sachs, leaving the CME group, leaving BlackRock to go to this little startup called Ripple, where these people happen to be, who are saying this XRP that they own a lot of is going to be like a G10 currency and a Swiss franc. And here, Brad Garlinghouse is saying that sitting on the stage with a guy from the IMF, and it's almost like he's the alpha on the stage.
And not even specific to Ripple or to XRP's community. I think one of the things that will surprise us a year from now is that banks will be custodying digital assets directly. And I think right now we think about that and think, look, there's in the ASEAN markets.
Let's go to this part.
All right, with that, we'll turn it over to. Can you see those? Oh, there's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto?
That guy on stage with him is the general counsel to the IMF, and Brad Garlinghouse is way too comfortable, way cocky almost.
Assets in the future. Oh,
cussing in front of the guy.
That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Now, it's always struck me, A, that he's even on stage with a guy from the IMF. B, that he's so comfortable, almost cocky. C, that the guy is obviously, and this is the same guy right here that was on stage with Ryan Zagone when Ryan Zagone said proof of work doesn't work. And I mean, it's almost like he's paying deference to the guys from Ripple every time you see him. Now, back to this one. After, when Miguel Valles said it was going to be like the Swiss franc, Miguel Valles said like a G10 currency. Anders Lundberg put this up back on August 12th of 2019, about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. Miguel Valles talks about making XRP as liquid as a G10 currency, then have a cookie and get back to work. G10 would mean daily volume over $100 billion with 100% of remittance market. They would have 2 billion daily volume. I'm sure he knows these numbers like the back of his hand. He made it sound like a short-term goal to make XRP as liquid as a G10 currency. With only remittance, this would be far from the goal. Therefore, they likely plan to target a much bigger market sooner. Folks, what I'm about to show you, and I showed you part of it yesterday, but what I'm about to show you is, for me, it's almost like the moment that Indiana Jones found the Ark of the Covenant, folks. That's what this was like for me. And I don't know if anybody else has ever shown it before. If they have, sorry. But for me, it was against the backdrop of what I showed yesterday. Here we go. So strap in, folks, and get ready. And if you don't, I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I am more confident in XRP after what I'm about to show you than I ever have since 2013 when I first discovered this. All right. So yesterday I showed you this clip, and it's worth showing you again. This was provided by Sir Gordon Gekko. Watch this. You need to see it again. This guy right here. And I want to tell you, there's been a lot of people online. Oh, that guy's some nut. I'm going to prove to you that this guy's correct in a minute. But first, I want you to hear what he said again. You need to hear what he said again.
Just become public knowledge. Right from day one, I've been telling everybody about the collapsing the world's economy for a global financial reset and the quantum financial system coming into operation. Now, I know that they were testing it. They sent out pings to every bank in the world on August the 2nd. Every bank in the world responded so that the system was working. They tried to launch it all of last week and had issues because Nancy Pelosi and her team had hired hackers to stop them to do it.
Yeah.
But it's gone public today in the Independent in England. No, it hasn't. Sorry, it was, but the Federal Reserve itself, the government website, the federalreserve.gov website, has announced that the system is operational as from today. So they've actually announced it publicly. It's all been very, very quiet up until now.
Wow.
The new financial system, which replaces the Federal Reserve SWIFT system, which is for the fiat currency, is now the quantum financial system, which is a blockchain system, which is instant settlement.
Well, I look forward to see how that affects our lives in the short term, and how it changes the way that the financial systems work around the world. Hopefully, it's not going to upset the apple cart too much. We don't need any upsets right now. We need things to run smoothly, especially in the finance, because people need to remain stable and feel secure that their money isn't being eroded or stolen, or the banks aren't being shut like they did in Cyprus and many other places. Just shut your bank account and take your money, or close your account so you can't use your money. It's just, the scam and these tests and experiments have been done over decades now, and people haven't realized that they were actually tests and experiments to see how people would react and respond, and realize that people do react and respond, but ultimately they can achieve nothing, because unless they take up arms and go and storm the government or the Reserve Bank and take control. So this is I guess it's important and significant information that you're sharing. I just hope that it continues without too much turbulence and affecting people negatively.
It means directly that the power has now been completely taken away from the old fiat system and the SWIFT system, which was controlled by the Federal Reserve, controlled by the Rockefellers.
I think it's a little bit more
organization. So that power is now completely gone.
And was this put in place? Was this put in place by Trump?
The system itself was put in place. He was the one that launched it, yes, but it was planned and everything way before he got into power by the people behind the scenes. Some people call them the Alliance, some people call them the White Hats. They're the team of geniuses who put this whole plan together.
I know some geniuses. Okay, now, let's assume that you think, oh, this guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? All right. So let me show you something. This is a document. This is from the treasury.gov, by the way. This is back in 2000, okay? 10/12 of 2000, from the Office of Public Affairs, the Global Financial System Perspective and Challenges. Treasury Assistant Secretary for International Affairs Edwin M. Truman remarks at the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. This whole talk is about how they need to change the Federal Reserve, the system, and it talks about Bretton Woods in here several times. I just wanted to show you, here it says the international, I'll show you the titles anyway. Globalization, the international financial system, and then it says international economic cooperation. They're basically talking about how things have to change in the financial system to change with the way the world's changing. In conclusion, the basic challenge that faces citizens, financial leaders, policymakers going forward with respect to all three areas that I have touched upon, globalization, the international financial system, and the international economic cooperation, is to recognize that we live in a shrinking world. If some are to prosper in that world, all must have the opportunity to prosper. This will require a quantum increase in global economic and financial cooperation. Words mean things, right? Okay, now remember, the Federal Reserve Chairman, the current Federal Reserve Chairman, said that they've been working on digital currencies for 2 decades, okay? This was in 2000. Now, many of you may or may not remember this. This is from the White House back on December 21st of 2018. Tonight, Donald Trump signed the National Quantum Initiative Act into law to help drive American leadership in QIS innovation. Joining him, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Chris Liddell, Michael whoever that is, Ivanka Trump. I remembered this picture right here because I remember seeing this piece of news and not really having much to say. I didn't really know exactly what it meant. Now, this is the National Quantum Initiative, so that you can see this is an actual bill. Okay. Now, so, and it's kind of a lot of gibberish. You're not going to see, much. The one thing that, let me see, I can't remember here, the one thing that caught my attention, it says, the National Institute of Standards and Technology Quantitative Activities, NIST, shall carry out specified quantum science activities and convene a consortium to identify the future measurement standards in cybersecurity. All right, get ready, because here it comes, folks. Now, and it's not this video. You might think that this is going around Twitter right now like crazy, as it should. Same guy, that Charles Ward guy, I think that's his name, Charlie Ward. Okay, same guy. I want you to listen. Now, this is a big deal going around Twitter right now for a reason that you're going to hear right now. But the document that I'm going to show you that I've never seen, somebody else may have seen it, but I haven't seen it, but I found it today that totally validates what this guy's saying is and I'm going to tell you where the document is too. Listen to what he says. Now, this is to the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel. If you're listening to this video, I'm not going to call you and tell you to listen to this, but when you hear it, I want you to call me, because we've been right all along. And this is quite the moment, in my opinion.
Every day, but for those that this is new to, what do you mean by that?
Well, the quantum financial system technically went live on Sunday, the 8th. Where are we now? Sunday the 8th. Where are we now? We're Saturday.
This is Saturday,
Sunday the 2nd it went live, and they pinged every bank in the world to make sure it worked. And they've been trying to get it started this week. It'll probably start next week. It's a digital banking system. It's backed by gold. It's backed by
How is this connected to Ripple that I've been hearing a bit about?
XRP Ripple is a gold-backed cryptocurrency. The blockchain system is being used for the banking system. So they'll run parallel for a period of time. I don't know how long that might be, days, might be weeks. No, we don't know yet. They haven't told me. As they wind down the fiat financial system, which is the SWIFT banking system with the Federal Reserve. Donald Trump has taken total control of the Federal Reserve, put it into the Treasury, and he's got all the right people in there who are managing it right now. But every single time they try and transition it, an ugly head pokes its head up and tries to hijack it.
Right.
Okay, so folks, here's what I did. After watching this guy, I was trying to validate this guy and see if he was crazy, or if look, everything the guy's saying is in line with what we've all seen all of these things, and I myself have seen the guys at Ripple saying these things and seeing them in the rooms with all these central bankers and seeing all it and going, this has to be what I think it is. This has to be what my gut is telling me. Well, this is what my gut was right. Your gut was right. We've been right all along. It's just a matter of when this all goes fully live. Okay, so here we go. So what I did is I went to Google and I typed in, what does he keep calling it? Quantitative financial system. I typed in quantitative financial system and then PDF just to see what would come up. Because a lot of times PDFs pop up out of nowhere, and one sure did. What you're looking at is a letter, and it's from this. It says that this email was forwarded to us from the Office of the Comptroller. Now, you don't see it, but up here, I can see it. It's from OCC.gov. It's from their website, somewhere buried inside of their website. This email was forwarded to us from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency in Washington, D.C., where Michael Chamberlain has been working with the acting Comptroller of the Currency to ensure the immediate disbursement of funds. Okay? This is on, looks like 6/16/2020 at 6:51 p.m. Wait till you hear what this says. And you'll see there, U.S. Department of Treasury. There's Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Watch this right here. In preparation for the global currency reset and the arrival of the quantum financial system currently running parallel, any international financial activity regulated by their respective agencies must strictly comply with no tolerance to all protocol and regulations stipulated in the International Quantum Initiative Act, passed by the U.S. House of Representatives and approved by the UN and the USMCA, formerly known as NAFTA. This means all financial obligations involved in the finalization of this and any other international settlement must be satisfied in full, and specifically by the registered beneficiary. I'm done, folks. So if you've ever wondered if we've been right, there you go. I want to repeat this line up here. In preparation for the global currency reset and the arrival of the quantum financial system, currently running parallel. That's another thing that Charlie Ward said in one of his videos. He said that this system has been running parallel to the central banks. They've been running it parallel. There you go, folks. This is the OCC. This is the same Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the same one that just a week or two ago said that you're going to be able to custody digital assets. It is all happening right before our eyes. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency says that we are preparing for a global reset, a global currency reset, and the arrival of the quantum financial system, which is currently running parallel. Thanks for oh, by the way, go and subscribe to my the Digital Asset Investor newsletter, because I am going to be in touch with all the people through that newsletter on various things in the future, like things like what I currently own and different stuff like that. But it's a cool thing. Everybody's doing it. Don't be left out. Don't feel like you're a loser or something because you're not on my Digital Asset Investor newsletter. It's in the description of every video I do. Thank you for listening.